Welcome, everybody, to the WEI NESN Jimmy Fund Coaches Corner. We are so lucky today to be joined by manager Alex Cora and, of course, Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla. So, guys, with the 23rd WEI NESN Jimmy Fund Telethon Radiothon, I just want to start out by asking you, and I'll start with you, Alex, since you're a many-year participant in this. What does the Jimmy Fund mean to you, and why is it important for you to be part of it?
I learned very quick how important it was, these 2 days in 2005 when I got traded to the Red Sox. I had no idea or a vague idea about the telethon. And then, I was part of the Red Sox from 05 all the way to 08. And, you just understand that you have to do your part, from a kid that lost his dad when I was 13 to cancer, that was eye-opening, right? And life-changing, and just gathering information and understanding what it means to the region. Those 2 days when I play, when I coach, there's no excuses, right? Our structure is so important, right? Especially in 162, we do everything the same, everything. I was talking to Joe yesterday. He asked me, what you do during the day? I get here at noon, meeting at 1:30, batting practice at 5, and then game at 7. And it doesn't matter, to do this now, it doesn't bother me. You could tell me 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 5 o'clock, I'll do it, because I got to do my part, and I love these 2 days here in Boston.
How about you, Joe? And how much have you learned about the Jimmy Fund? Obviously, you grew up in the region, so I'm assuming that you were aware of it before you got into the world of Boston sports. But now that you're a part of this community in a professional sense.
Yeah, I mean, growing up in the region, you understand the importance of that and how it brings people together. But you really see just how the Jimmy Fund can have a positive impact on something negatively that affects so many people. And losing my dad to cancer as well during the pandemic, just having an understanding of the toll that can take just on one person, but on a family. And then to know that there's, a fund out there, to know that there's people out there, to know the field of medicine that Boston has and that New England has, to know that there's so many people and so many events that are looking to flip that negative into a positive, and just knowing the impact that we can have on that is super important. But touches home to my heart, and stuff like this is important because that you can give back to people, and that's what I love to do most.
Thank you for sharing both of those personal experiences. Joe, you talked to family, and so many families come through Fenway in these 2 days and share their stories. What is the importance, do you think, that you, from your personal experience, want to impart and share out there about the support that these families need, in addition to the patients who are bravely fighting these battles against cancer day in, day out, but the support that Dana Farber and the greater Boston medical community lends to these families, why that's so important?
Yeah, I mean, it's important to the patients initially, right? I think the love, the empathy, the understanding of kind of what they're going through, and being there for them. And but what you realize, and I realized it too, is as much as it impacts the patient, it impacts the people around them so much. And not just, it can be many different ways. It can be emotionally, it can be mentally, it can be physically, it can be financially. And so there's so many different ways that a person and a family can be impacted by something like this. And I just think it's our responsibility to help in every way, to help physically, to help mentally, to help emotionally, to help financially, spiritually, to try and help as much as we can in the many different areas that people are impacted by it.
So speaking of family, there's this greater family of Boston sports, and we got a glimpse of you two last night sharing some moments at Fenway Park. Saw some Celtics players. I believe Luka Garza, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, was out there taking BP at Fenway. What do you gain? And I'll start with you, Joe, since you were there just last night. What do you gain? What do you learn from stepping into another coach's shoes, or just seeing how they do things? We've also seen you out at training camp, for example, and vice versa, with Mike Vrabel visiting the Celtics practices. What do you learn from spending time with other teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to the foundation of the fund and cancer research and why we're here today is having an understanding and a perspective of what other people are going through and how to build connections. And I think regardless of if it's coaching, if it's medicine, if it's just life in general, we all use the same principles, we all use the same values, the same mindset to try to become better and to try to build relationships and build a community. So anytime you can step into an environment where you can support someone that's going through what you're going through, you can learn from. I think we all have gifts and opportunities to make each other better. So just being there yesterday, you're able to connect to the city, you're able to connect to the players. Being with Alex, he's able to give me different perspectives. And so I think just building those connections, with people, I think is the most important thing. And really grateful that we have a city to where we could do that. We've all been successful on and off the playing field. And I think it's our responsibility to share that and make each other better.
Yeah, Alex, have you gotten a chance during your time here, I'm assuming, to go out to different teams and spend time with different coaches? And why is that valuable to you?
Yeah, I've been with Joe. We went to the practice facility, I want to say 2 years ago. Then they invited me to their coaching development, which I think is outstanding. It's something that we probably going to adopt. I'm a big believer that, yeah, we're going to make our players better, but also we have to make our coaches and myself better. And we got to do it through the organization and obviously connecting with other organizations. For me, first of all, big fan of Joe, the way he goes about it. It's very similar to my situation in 2018, right? We come into a team that had big expectations, and the players did their job, but just being around him, being around Brad, I have learned a lot about connection. We have structured a few things in our environment based on what they do over there. And I'm very pleased to call Joe my friend and my partner, because what he's done the last 2 years with Brad is something that we want to do, right? And this year, we are doing a good job. We still have 35 games. I call it 75 days, hopefully, right? And pull something big here in Boston. And some of the things that the principles that Joe has, I have mirrored that and try to apply it in my arena.
Yeah, so you bring up a good point there, Alex, that both of you got your start at the professional level, the pros here, the big four sports, as head coaches in Boston. We're very lucky. We're very happy to have you both in those positions still. But I'll start with you there, Alex. How different do you think you are from your first year that you were in Boston as a head coach? How much have you changed?
More humble. I learned, I learned a lot in 2018. It was a team that it was win or bust, right? Supposedly, right? And what we did in the regular season was amazing. And then in the playoff to beat New York, Houston, and LA, that was great. In 2019, I got the humble experience. I remember saying, we're going to run it back. We're going to do the same thing. This is supposedly it's going to be easy, and it wasn't, So I learned a lot. More mature, obviously, learned a lot in 2020 after the suspension. Came back in 21, and I have a different perspective, not only for what we do, the Red Sox and obviously the Celtics and the Patriots, but the city. This is a city that has embraced us, has adopted us. We love it here. We won't live here in the off season. I promise you that. We'll go back to the island, go back to Puerto Rico. But I'm enjoying it now. Regardless of the results, I'm enjoying it. I can go and have conversations with fans, and go with the family and have dinner, and people will come up to us, and we don't have to be shy about it, right? We belong here, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it every second. I can tell you that whenever I get out here at noon, I'm ready to go to Fenway and enjoy the whole experience, because you never know what can happen in the future.
How about you, Joe? How different do you think you feel in the job now versus your first year? How much do you think you've changed?
Yeah, I mean, I think even if you were to ask me this question 10, 12 years from now, that I changed, that you're always evolving, that you're always growing. And that's why I think it's important to have great relationships and great people like Alex, like the Red Sox. Like yesterday on a game day, for them to be as welcoming and teaching insightful into how they go about doing their things was really special. And we get that in many different arenas in Boston. And so I hope that I'm always changing and evolving. And I think I'll always be a product of just the people around me. And like Alex said, when I take Sturo to go to the Garden every day, I try to take it all in, because it's a dream scenario. It's a dream job. And you don't know how long you're going to have it. But while you do have it, you got to make it better. And so I've been blessed to have a great staff ever since I've been here. Mm-hmm. Been blessed to have great players, been blessed to have great alignment between ownership and front office, which is a huge thing for success. And like Alex said, the community has taken me in, and you try to build that connection to where we all have the same mindset, and we all think the same way here in Boston and New England, and you just hope that it leads to long-term success. So really grateful, and wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
So along with all of that, you guys have both won championships for this city, which fans will be endlessly grateful for. But I wonder, because it's Boston, because of the precedent that your own franchises have set with those championships, I'll start with you, Joe. After you win, how big is the pressure to win again? Or do you feel that there's a different kind of expectation in Boston that you'll win more than one, especially with a couple of stars or one group that you have in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I think before you even step into the expectation of the city or Boston or the organization, you have to have that for yourself. And so regardless of where I would be coaching, I would expect myself to want to win more. If not, then you should just kind of retire, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, if we're going to keep going to keep coaching, you and being around people, you have to have the standard and expectation to push yourself. That what you're doing isn't good enough because there's more out there. So as long as you first have that expectation for yourself, for your family, for your players, your staff, your people, it'll never, no one else can put more expectation than what you have on yourself. And then what the city brings is just it's an ownership and a responsibility. And I don't think there's anything cooler than waking up every day knowing that you have a responsibility to a city, to an organization, to move it forward, to leave it better than you found it. And you leave it better than you found it by going after winning for as long as you can. And so to me, I couldn't imagine being somewhere where you don't have that, because it brings the best out of you and it brings the best out of the people around you. And it builds a love and a connection that, that we have.
What about you, Alex? You just talked to, hey, 2019, maybe a little bit of a harsh lesson. Do you still feel that same pressure of, okay, got to go out, get another ring for the city?
I don't see it as pressure. I see it as a luxury. I got my standards, and when I decided to be a manager in the big leagues, is to win as many rings as possible. How can we accomplish that? Like Joe said, you surround yourself with capable people. Obviously, players come into play. You have to have good players too. But every day that I go out there, there's not a thought of like we're not winning a World Series, And we understand that this is a grind. It's 162 and this and that. But our expectations is to win it all every year. If not, like Joe said, I can be home with the boys right now, throwing them batting practice at 5 o'clock, and try to make them World Series champs. But right now, my job is here, and I love it. One of the things, and we talked about it yesterday, the fan base, it means so much to us, not only personally, but for the group, and I've been talking about it the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Fenway Park right now is very special. The Garden in the playoffs is very special. And I think, they really don't understand how important they are. The city, the fan base, the way they push us every single day, especially in our sport. 162 is hard. It's very hard. And when we go out there, I remember as a player, I will go there. I live it tired. I didn't feel great physically. I will go out to run sprints at 6:45, and it energized me, the fans and Fenway and all that. And that's happening right now. You can see our players. They go out there early. They start getting ready, and they get it. So, we have a job to do, but without them, this is not possible.
So, Joe, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, because you're a Rhode Island guy. Jason Tatum was out in a community event a couple weeks ago, and I think he said it might have been like his first time in Rhode Island. So I want to ask how that's possible that you haven't gotten him down there before, and just a check-in on behalf of fans. We're all thinking about him, how well he's doing right now, and just his mindset going into this calendar year.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing well. Obviously, everybody saw that he's walking, so he's got great people around him. He has a great mindset of, regardless of the off season is a time to get better, whether that's mentally, physically, emotionally, on the court, in the weight room, and so he's checking all the boxes, doing everything he can, to get where he needs to get to, and I'll have to bring him to Federal Hill, and take him down there for dinner one time.
Any shout out to any restaurant in particular you want to give out there?
Oh no, I can't just pick one.
Can't just pick one. Okay. That's a very diplomatic answer. Well, thank you guys so much again. We really can't say enough how much we appreciate you joining in on the Jimmy Fund and giving your time here. Some really great insight from the unique Boston sports community and the fraternity of our coaches. Again, if you want to give to the Jimmy Fund, you can text to give any amount, K-Cancer, to 56512 or call 1-800-. You can call 877-738-1234 to make a donation. Thanks so much again, guys.
No, thank you. And again, like the people that are going through this, they're the real champions, and they show the real things that go into winning and competing, because they're fighting for their lives, and the people around them are fighting for each other. And so those are the things that make the stuff that we do better. And I think that's important for people to know that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, from my end, all the volunteers, everybody that is involved, thank you. You guys make us better, and keep going. Let's go.